Well, hello, and welcome to that thing we like to call Curlessmania, where we talk all things pop, rock, and prog. Tonight, it's a very special night. Whenever there's a new guest on the channel, I'm very excited, and I'm excited again because I've got a very cool guest tonight, Mr. Ken Golden. Ken, how are you?
I'm excited. Can't you tell?
Ken,
So
go,
you
go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say you need no introduction. You know people know you from Sea of Tranquility and the Prog Seat, and of course you're the main honcho at Laser's Edge as well. So, um,
I am.
yeah,
That I am. So
yeah,
I am some people's heroes and some people's villain. So
yeah,
I wear that badge with great pride.
yeah. Now, I have to ask, how long have you been doing that?
38. It's going to be 38 years.
Man, that's amazing.
So
That's unreal.
so you want to know the story how I started this?
Yeah, yeah.
So I got married in '87. Poor soul, my wife. Oh, she's we have our anniversary in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And I was a crazy collector, crazy vinyl collector. CDs had been out, but not for very long. They came out like early, early 80s.
Right.
And I remember I used to go into Great Crazy Eddie and look at the flip through them, and I didn't understand them, why anybody wanted that shit. It's like, you want albums, right?
Right.
And I'm also a bit of a crazy audiophile, and I was reading about how shitty CDs sounded versus albums. And I was really went down like the rabbit hole as far as collecting, and I was getting into really, to me, esoteric stuff, and I was getting into like Italian prog, but obscure bands and
Yeah.
bands I didn't really know about, but I was being tipped off that these albums were coming out in Japan on CD. And I like, what the hell is Museo Rosenbach? I don't know what the hell that is, but I want it. I have no idea what it is. Because I know I want it, but an original copy is like $500. Now, an
Wow.
original copy is a lot more than
I was
$500.
going to say
But
back then it was 500 was a lot,
but
absolutely.
yeah, it was mad money,
Mm.
and but I could buy a Japanese CD that was taken from the masters or safety or something for $30. And
Wow.
$30, even Japanese CDs they've always been expensive.
Yeah.
And so there's all this stuff coming out, all this prog rock stuff coming out that was, the original copies were way beyond my means, but they were coming out on CD. So I started buying them, and uh, I didn't even own a CD player. Seriously, I didn't own a CD player, but I
Wow.
was buying these CDs, and I was sticking them on the shelf, and little by little it went from like having like this many, and then one day I'm like, I've got like two shelves, and I still don't have a CD player. And finally I said, all right, I'll get a CD player. I went to my local high-end audio store where I was buying all my gear. I bought a Pioneer Elite CD player. I think it was like, I don't know, $1,200, $1,300 at the time. And I started to play these things, and I'm like, yeah, they sound okay. Not too bad. But I kept buying them. And then I said to my wife, I just said to my wife for a period of time, I said, I know there's a business here somewhere. I got to figure out what the business is.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it dawned on me, finally, I'm like, there are other idiots like myself that want this stuff, but they can't spend the money for the originals. But so I'm gonna I'm gonna find those people and I'm gonna sell them stuff.
Yeah.
So I was working in outdoor advertising. I was an accountant by trade and working in Manhattan. And so I started Laser's Edge. I came up with the name while I was shaving, Razor's Edge, Laser's
Okay.
Edge.
Nice. All
Stupid,
right.
stupid name. There was gonna be a vinyl side to the business called Eye of the Needle. That never happened.
I
They've
like
never
that.
happened.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that would have been a bad name.
Yeah.
And so then I did a lot of research because I didn't know anything about anything. I
Mhm.
remember I called Steve Feigenbaum at Wayside Music asking for some help, and he hung up on me. First time I called him,
Okay.
bastard. What a bastard that guy is. And then so then I got into it, and I I picked up the Billboard International Buyer's Guide, and I started doing research. It was a directory that listed every record label and every distributor around the world. Excuse me.
Nice.
And so I started reaching out to different distributors and setting up accounts. And I started bringing in all this stuff that I was reading about, like in Goldmine magazine. And
Goldmine. I used to read that. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. You should read Goldmine. And
Yep.
then there was the English magazine, The Record Collector, and they would talk about new releases, and I tracked the stuff down. And it was crazy because then I started dealing with people all over the world, not just distributors over here. And then uh, I remember buying a mailing list. There was a label that was putting out some stuff, and I bought that mailing list, and I started advertising in Goldmine, and I put together printed catalogs. You want to see what a
Nice.
catalog looks like?
Sure. Yeah.
I gotta I'm gonna disappear for 1 second, all right?
Go ahead.
Give me 1 sec. 1 sec. I'll be right
Problem.
back. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
No problem.
So the early catalogs were very simple. I don't know that I have any around here. They're floating around. But then we got fancy.
Okay.
So then we started doing catalogs like this.
Oh, nice. Look at that. That's pretty cool
Oh,
looking.
I mean, these were real catalogs.
Yeah.
No pictures at the time.
Right.
And I wrote every word in these bloody things.
Oh my God.
These used
Wow.
to take me forever.
Yeah.
He was one that Michael Bennett did the artwork. We used the from El Trono de Recordi, one of my releases. This is from 95. Same kind of layout.
Yeah. I love the
They were
artwork.
nice.
I love the
They,
artwork on them. Were great. Love it.
yeah. Um, I have the original. I have the original piece of that. They were a nightmare to produce. These take me forever.
Probably expensive at the time too. Somewhat.
It was ridiculous to
Yeah.
print them. And
Yeah.
then, I had customers all over the world. It would cost me $6 to mail it to a guy in Korea
Right.
who then wouldn't order from me. I mean, it was
Right. Right.
I mean,
Right.
it was ridiculous. And then people started coming out with shopping carts. I
Yeah.
had a website
Yep.
that didn't have a shopping cart, just like a list. And
Right.
then Chad Hutchinson was
Mhm.
doing web design, and he was a customer. And Chad came up with the shopping cart, installed a shopping cart, and I started with that. This is like back in the day of the Mosaic browser.
Right. Right.
Remember
Yes, I
that?
remember.
And
Yes.
Netscape. There was Netscape and
Netscape. Yep.
all
Yep.
that stuff. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. And then so I was doing this for some time, and then God, I don't remember what year it was. I guess it was around 97 or so, 98. I had been working on that's when there were all these companies coming out with e-commerce sites.
Right.
And I subscribed to a particular company, and I was loading in all the information with JPEGs and creating a website, a real website. And then people started ordering, and I just said to my wife, I said, I don't have to do these catalogs anymore.
Yeah.
I was working on a catalog for over 2 years. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
They
Wow.
they were silly. I never published it. It was because by the time they would be printed, they were out of date.
Yeah, and then you're getting orders on the website meantime, right? So it's like,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
nice. So I was getting all these orders on the website. I said, I
yeah,
don't have to do this catalog. And she was
yeah.
pissed because I was working on that catalog
Spend so
literally.
much time on it.
And
So,
literally,
yeah.
because because the whole premise was I was going to redesign. I don't know if I ever told anybody this story. I was going to redesign the entire site, and I'm sorry, the entire catalog it was going to be really fancy with pictures and shorter descriptions and stuff. But I wanted it to be done in a way so that in the future I could update it pretty quickly
Yeah,
and have like maybe like one core catalog and then just updates to it, that kind of a thing.
right.
I never published it. I never,
Yeah,
we never did it
yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, because the website started to do well, and Yeah, and then, we've gone through different iterations of the website, and we've been on the same platform for it's a customized platform. Been on there since 2012, which is
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's just all customized for me, so
Well, if you're not familiar with Laser's Edge, you got to go check it out. I just purchased something on there, and it's coming so fast. It's like lickety split service, man. You get your
yeah.
stuff
I
sent
I
to you
I
really
said to
fast.
Tom before, we want to get it out the door before you change your mind. So,
Right, right. And
so
your
it's late.
description, I have to tell you, your description on the what I bought the reissue of In the Court of the Crimson King, and it's
Right.
like the surround sound and the extra tracks and I was like, I gotta have this and the
Yeah.
remix and all that stuff. What's funny is like when I clicked on the actual like picture of the album and your little blurb said something like, if you're looking at this, just buy it. Don't think any, just buy this. Like
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is. I
it's
mean,
just so funny.
yeah.
So
Back in the day, I used to have a lot of time. I used to write like descriptions for everything. Now it's, you know, given the volume of business, I just, when I can, I write the descriptions, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't always do that.
Well, it
So
was something about you said something about you had listened to the surround sound, and it was almost making you emotional because you heard things that you never heard before in the
yeah,
song. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, the website is lasercd.com. So if you can, check it out. If you got nothing else to do, take your iPad into the bathroom and, just play around.
Exactly. Well, we are here tonight actually to talk about, believe it or not, we are talking about some German prog tonight. I was Ken and I were going back and forth about, wait, what do you want to do? And he had some ideas here. I had a couple ideas, and he said, why don't we do something a little more, esoteric? And I was like, okay, let's do something that nobody talks about. And so, Eloy is a band that I just discovered. I'm pretty new to Eloy. I discovered them a couple years ago. And
Mhm.
man, it's like one of those like late period discoveries. You're like, oh my God, how did I miss this band? It's one of those, and I've been getting into them like pretty heavily, and
Mhm.
so yeah, so Ken was like, how I said something about how about Eloy, and he's like, yeah, Eloy, that's great, let's do that. So, but then we gave ourselves a serious challenge of saying top three Eloy because what Eloy has like what 20 albums, something like that.
I think it's 24. I don't know. I've got a bunch of them. So, you know,
So yeah, so
uh,
we got a lot to talk about, but I said, hey, let's just do top three records. So you're gonna
yeah,
have to
sure,
you're gonna have to really nail it down. And so I have to ask you before we get into the top three. So
sure.
I ask a lot of my guests this. When was the first time you heard I'm pretty new to me, but when was the first time you first heard Eloy?
I used to see, because as a record collector, I used to flip through the bins, and I used to see there was a U.S. pressing of Inside and Floating, the second and third albums that came out in
Yeah,
the U.S. on Janus Records. So I used to come across them. I didn't know what the hell they were.
right.
Um, there was a store in Upper Manhattan called Pantasia. And Pantasia was the greatest record store that ever existed. And the Pantasia was in a neighborhood you didn't want to go to. But the owner was focused on progressive rock, and he was also distributing some obscure labels. And used to go in there and flip through the bins, and you would, I mean, it was a treasure trove. You
Yeah,
would,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you like, you pull something out because you saw the cut, like everything else back then, and even now, you see the cover and like, what is this? This looks
yeah,
great,
yeah,
right? And what's Grobschnitt? And
yeah,
what's Eloy? And then and Joel, the owner of the store, it turns out he'd play his stuff,
yeah, right.
and and I'm pretty sure he put on an Eloy album that I pulled out of the bins, went home with me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this was, oh God, it was early, it was in the mid 70s, it was like,
Okay.
middle 70s.
Yeah.
And it, you weren't really hearing it, you weren't hearing Eloy on the radio,
No, you were not.
you know.
No.
It, you know, I mean, I grew up in New York City, I grew up in Queens, And I used to listen religiously. I used to listen to Allison Steele on WNEW-FM,
Yes. Yep.
the Nightbird, Allison Steele, the Nightbird. So
Yep.
Allison would be on. She came on. I don't remember what time she came. I think did she come on at 11? I think maybe she came on
Something
at
like
11.
that. Something like that. Yeah.
Late 10, 11. Anyway,
Yeah.
and she would always sprinkle prog rock and Nectar or whatever, and you would hear things that you were never exposed to
Yeah.
mainstream radio,
Yeah.
and it's very possible she played some Eloy back then.
Okay.
NEW was a pretty progressive station, so the
They
DJs
were.
they used to sprinkle stuff, this throughout the set, through their sets, used to hear
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
It was
I grew up in northern New Jersey, so I was also into NEW and
yeah,
Scott Muni and
Scott Muni, things from England.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
every
Yeah,
Friday, Scott Muni, every Friday afternoon, things from England.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Love that was
yeah,
you said NEW was a great station back in the day. It really
yeah,
was.
it was. It was. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that's what we used to find out about bands, and that's what we
Yeah.
used to find out about concerts, and
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
and why I would wind up sleeping out at Madison Square Garden for tickets.
I'm telling you, that's like a lost. Like that was so much fun when we were growing up. Like now, that's get finding out about stuff and then going to find and there was a little more mystery involved. Like you said, you didn't know about bands like that. You couldn't just Wikipedia somebody and know everything about them in 5 minutes.
No,
You know what I mean? You had to go and discover these bands and talk to people and go to record stores and dig.
people don't
You know?
understand that there are things called magazines.
Yes. Yes.
So, and that's how we used to find out about stuff.
Yep.
It
Yep.
was, there were all kinds of magazines, and used to read Melody Maker, New Musical Express, and that's how you would, that's National Health. Oh, that sounds cool. It's like,
Yeah.
how do
Exactly.
you find out about this stuff? I mean,
Right.
that if DJs were playing it, I mean, there. I used to get catalogs. I used to collect because I was a record collector. I used to get record lists from people all over the world, and that's how you would find out about stuff. There was no internet. There was,
Yeah, there was no internet, right?
you know,
You had to, like you said, magazines, other music friends. I mean, it was the go record stores, like you said. I mean, I used to spend so much time in record stores, like because that was where you would like find stuff. You would like, talk to
yeah,
people.
and then and if you were in a cool store, the guy behind the counter, he'd be turning you on to bands because
Yes,
he wanted to
exactly.
sell you something, and
Yes, exactly. Check this out.
oh
Yeah,
sure, and then yeah, back then you had to do research.
yeah, yep.
Now it comes to you. Back
Right.
then you had to go find it,
Yeah,
and
it was
you know,
much more of a search. You know.
yeah, and that was there was the thrill of the hunt.
Yes, exactly. I used to love that. I used to love that. That like
Well,
the
sure,
hunting for stuff.
and as a collector, actually that's one of the bad parts about the internet is that with all these websites like Discogs and eBay, everybody knows what everything's worth.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now, you used to go into a used record store and you used to go to the international section and you see in the Italy, you'd say,
Mhm.
oh, what do we have here? You know, to the store owner, he didn't know what the hell it was, and it was $3 because it was some Italian record that was in a
Right.
in a
Yes.
collection he bought, and it was just buried there, and he wanted it out as soon as
He
possible.
just wanted
To
to
me, it
move
was
it. He just wanted to move
yeah,
it.
to me
Yeah.
it was a treasure trove.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I used to do, and I used to go into a record store. I used to go right to the international section,
Mhm.
and France, Italy, whatever. And it was amazing the stuff they used to find there.
Yeah.
It was, but
Unbelievable.
yeah, the internet killed all that.
Yeah.
Now every dealer and every record shop, they know what everything's worth.
Yeah.
So
I
so
used
there's
to
no
drag my buddies to again I lived in New Jersey. I used to drag my buddies to New York City and go because there were like a million we used to go to the Village and you're very
yeah, sure,
probably yeah, you're familiar with this. It's like,
of
they
course.
had so many record stores within like a 3 block radius. It was insane.
Fourth Street. All the stores were on Fourth
Yes.
Street.
Bleecker
Yes.
Bob's, It's Only Rock and Roll, Venus Records. Like there was so many there was a huge Tower Records down the street.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It was awesome.
Absolutely. We used to have a thing every Sunday night. My friends and I, we would drive into Manhattan from Queens, and we would hit. Can't remember the place. We used to go for chicken wings, buffalo chicken wings, and then from there we would go to Tower Records, because Tower
Oh,
Records was open until midnight
right.
every day. So
Yep.
it's like there was never anything to do on Sunday night. It's like, well, we maybe go to McSorley's, have a beer at McSorley's, and
Yeah.
then get
Yeah.
tanked up, and then go into Tower, and and then you start flipping through, and they had all the imports and stuff, and you just
Yeah.
start,
Yeah. And
yeah,
Tower was like three, wasn't it? Three
three
stories?
stories,
Yeah. Yeah.
three stories, yeah. It
Crazy. I
was
mean, but it was a massive record store. It was massive.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean that doesn't exist anymore.
No.
All this
No.
stuff. But yeah, the village, New York City used to be an incredible place to go record shopping. All the stores are gone now for the most part. There's a few. Most of them went to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
want to go, you've got to do serious record shopping in New York City, go to Brooklyn.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. All right.
Well,
Well, anyway,
Eloy.
we're off on major tangents already, and that's okay. That's what we do here. So let's get back to Eloy. So basically, it's a German prog band, formed in 1969 by Frank Bornemann, I believe is his name.
Yep, Frank Bornemann,
He's
sure.
he's a guitar player, and he's the only guy that, I mean, there was a million lineup changes in this band, but he was the one constant.
Yeah.
Um, and and they, went from what, 69 to the present almost.
Well, to now, I mean,
Yeah,
Frank's
to now.
still putting out albums.
Right, which is insane.
I guess we had a new one. Did we have a new one last year? I think it was last year.
Something
So
like that. Yeah.
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 So
So yeah. So, you know, it's
they still
interesting.
they
Yeah.
still sound like Eloy.
Yeah, but they do. I mean, it's
They
like a
do. I
modern
mean, they
version
do.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yeah.
one of the albums that almost made my, I mean, it's going to be an honorable mention is Ocean 2. I mean, that's a really good record.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's still. I released one of his albums for North America, Visionary.
Mhm.
I licensed that for North America. I put that one out on CD, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Frank knows what his audience wants, and he delivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And he had a little bit of a diversion maybe in the 80s, possibly just a little bit, but
Well,
maybe, possibly. What would you say?
well, the band broke up. I mean, he broke
Yeah.
up the band in '84, I think it was, and then Eloy was kind of dead,
Yeah.
and then he the rest of the guys, I'll show you the rest of the guys made a horrible album called Codename Wild Geese. It was the soundtrack,
Oh, geez.
and it's
Okay.
everybody from Eloy except for Frank Bornemann,
For Frank. Yeah.
and it sounds nothing like Eloy, and it's god awful. It's
Okay.
I don't know how they got away with calling it Eloy. So
Wow.
it was a bad movie, and and then he reformed the band in '88. It was him and a keyboard player, Michael Gerlach. Was it this album? Yeah, I think it was. I think it was this one. Raw. Was it Raw? I
Yeah.
think it was.
Yep. I think
Yeah.
that's right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and it it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was you were just happy to have
Yeah.
Frank back and making Eloy music. So,
Right.
but
Right.
better things came after that.
Yeah.
Ocean 2 was pretty good. I
Yeah.
like the Visionary album we did. The this this Joan of Arc suite that he's good. And as I said, it sounds like Eloy. The lineup keeps changing, but Frank is always out front playing guitar, and every now and then he brings back some of the old guys and get involved. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's he's 187 years old, and it's still doing it.
It's still going. I love it.
Still going.
So what is, we got to get to the meat of the matter here.
All right,
What's your number three? Let's get into this.
I'm not going to give them to you in order.
All right. Okay. Just give me.
I'm going to give you my three favorites.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. I
and
like
one of
that's
them
great.
and one of them is a cheat.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So let's see. I'll hold them up as I go through.
Go for it.
We got that. We got that.
Okay.
Ugh, this was terrible. This
Uh,
was actually Performance was actually not a bad album.
okay. All right.
Terrible cover. Look at
Weird
that cover.
cover. Yeah. Weird cover.
Awful. Pretty good
Yeah.
album. Not bad.
Ooh. Yeah. Time to Turn's pretty good. Yep.
Not bad.
Oh, I like planets.
Pretty good.
Good. Yep.
Go through 'em, man. You'll,
Of course. Yep.
we'll get there. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'll give you my
Yep. Yep.
Dawn.
Nice, Dawn. Yep.
Power and Passion.
Nice.
You have these on vinyl?
I have. I don't. The only one I have on vinyl is Inside. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, that's the Janus pressing,
Yeah,
right?
it's Janice. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, you're floating. So here's the first one. Inside. This is one of my three favorites. So,
Same
and by the
here.
way,
Same
yeah,
here. Yeah. Oh, you have the
yeah,
debut too. Wow.
yeah. Well, yeah. Don't go crazy. This is the reissue because
Oh, okay.
the original is super expensive. I'm not a big fan of this album, to be honest with you. I know
No,
Pete.
I wouldn't think you would be.
Pete kind of likes this album, but
Does he?
it's
Okay.
funny. Before we recorded, I didn't realize Pete did a ranking the Eloy albums about 5 years ago.
Did
Before I
he?
was on Sea of Tranquility, and I scanned through, and he was completely wrong, but that's okay. But he kind of liked this album. Eh,
Right.
Pete knows I love him.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
anyway, this is nice German copy of Inside.
Nice
Uh,
job. German copy. Nice.
yeah, I bought it when you could find it.
Right.
This is one of my three favorites. The first album, I don't think what we call the garbage can cover.
Right.
Do people know why it's called the garbage can cover? We'll show them why it's called the garbage
Yeah.
can cover.
Just show him. Yeah.
So it's a garbage can and had a gimmick sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not very good, but it was Frank. Frank was, I don't know that Frank was necessarily the main guy in the band.
Right.
And
Right.
it's more of a hard rock album.
Yeah. It's more like Uriah Heep or early Deep Purple or something.
Yeah, which is
Yeah. Which
okay
is fine,
because
but
really Inside, that's kind of what Inside is like, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Hmm.
But you know, they did it much better here.
Yeah.
Frank's kind of in control. Everything's credited to Eloy, but I think that Frank was kind of like the main songwriter. And this has just got killer tracks on it. It's got 17-minute Land of Nobody.
Yeah.
It's, as you said, it's very influenced by Deep Purple and Uriah Heep. It's very organ driven,
Yeah.
and a lot of what defines the Eloy sound are the keyboards. And
Right.
Frank's worked with different keyboard players over the years, and they've all contributed, I think, overall to the sound of the albums. So the early keyboard player and one of the founders with Frank was Manfred White-Zorka, and he was very much into organ, not so much synthesizer. I don't remember that there's any Mellotron on this album. There may be. Let me see if they even credit him
It's
with.
very a lot of Hammond. A lot of
Just
Hammond.
as Manfred White's organ, guitar, vocals, percussion.
Yeah.
Fritz Randau is the drummer. Fritz also was in Scorpions.
Right.
So
Right. That's right. Yes. Yep.
yeah, and
Yep.
there's actually and yeah, and the later drummer Jurgen Rosenthal was also in Scorpions at one point.
All right.
So
All right.
this defines, it's four tracks: the sidelong Land of Nobody, which is great; Inside, which is just unbelievable; Future City is like one of their greatest tunes; and
Interesting.
Up and Down, and
Yeah.
another great one, long track. Kind of heavy prog,
Yes.
very organ driven. ELP is my favorite band. I love organ, that kind of stuff. And so my number one, not number one favorite, but just one of my three favorites. If
Right.
I had to pick three, this is one of them.
Okay.
Inside.
Okay.
So
Nice.
there
Nice.
you go.
Nice.
That
All
was
right.
long-winded. That was long-winded.
Well,
I'm sorry.
well, it's I'm not I really I'm not I got it right here. Three I have Inside is one of my three. So I this album, there is something about this album. I'm not quite sure how to put my finger on it, but like you said, I really like the heavy Hammond organ going on the whole
Yep.
time. And like you said, it's you put it perfectly, this sort of heavy prog. It's kind of like aggressive prog in a way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the title track. I love that
Oh yeah.
it's so great. I just think it's
Yeah.
great. And Future
Yes.
City is awesome. I mean, there's really not a bad track on this. I
No,
really
no.
you
it's a
know?
great record. And floating, I kind of think of Inside and Floating together
Yeah,
because
yes, yes.
floating is it's like just it's almost as if it was a double album. I mean, it's
Yeah,
the same sound, and floating is a great record in its own regard. I had
right,
a you now if you said pick your favorite four, maybe floating would
right.
be in there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
no,
it's
yeah.
almost a coin toss between Inside and Floating. I give Inside the nod today. Tomorrow maybe I give Floating. Give it to Floating. So
I do love the title track on Floating too. Yeah, it's that
Plastic Girl. Yeah.
was, isn't it the first track?
No, Floating, the title track is the
Yeah,
first track on
first
the
track.
album.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that
And
is like that thing kicks in with some energy, man. That thing is like that is a rocking track.
yeah. I think he changed the bass player on this one, but it's also Frank Bornemann, Manfred White-Sorka, Fritz Randau,
Yeah.
Lucian Janssen on bass. I don't think he's the bass player on this. I don't think so. So yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, I have quite an
that's
affinity for Floating
that's
as
my
well.
number. That's one of my top three.
Okay. All right. What's another one of your top three?
Okay.
Because I
I'm
just did
saving. I'm saving.
mine was Inside as well. So it's
Okay.
over to
The
you.
last. I mean, the last one is the cheat. That's what I'm saving
Okay.
now.
Okay.
So okay. So this is everybody's number one.
Right.
This is the best album Frank ever made. Silent Cries and Mighty Echoes.
Yep.
Just an amazing album. Great artwork too. I love it. I love
Love
the
the
cover.
cover. Yeah. Love it.
And I'm gonna make noise and open this thing. And at this point, he had Jurgen Rosenthal playing drums, if I'm not mistaken. Where are you? Yes, Jurgen. And this was like the classic lineup.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so if you don't mind, let me say how we got here.
Sure.
So we started with that heavy period, that real heavy keyboard, organ dominated. When I say it is organ dominated, but
Kind of is.
Frank's
Yeah.
Frank's guitar work is great. So it's a
Right.
heavy prog thing. And then he brought in Detlef Schmidtchen playing keyboards. And then the sound got more symphonic, synthesizers. I think we got Mellotron. So we got I'm not going to hold them up. The Power and the Passion and Dawn. And that
Right.
was
Right.
stylistically, that was a changeover in sound. And that was more symphonic. And then we got into, like I said, the classic lineup. We got Ocean, and which is well, you have to hold up Ocean because Ocean
Yeah.
is like one of the greatest album covers of all time. So I'll crack it open and show off everybody why it's just such a
Oh yeah. With the oh yeah. It's like
so
yeah. It's a
you know.
cool.
And again, it's the lineup. Frank Bornemann, Klaus Peter Matzoel on bass. He was the main of his. Detlef Schmidtchen, Hammond organ, Mini Moog, ARP synthesizers, Mellotron, RMI keyboard, computer. Jurgen Rosenthal on drums. Jurgen was, as I said, was also in Scorpions. And so Silent Cries was basically an evolution from Ocean. And many people consider Ocean to be their best album. But for
Yeah.
me, it's Silent Cries and Mighty Echoes. This is this is you know this is their Pink Floyd album. This is
Yeah.
the one
Totally.
where
Totally. Yeah.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not so much if you listen to it, Wish You Were Here. It's clearly like an influence.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
not like some people make it out like they're like blatantly ripping off Floyd. If you really listen to this album, you hear overtones of Pink Floyd, particularly in Schmidtchen's keyboard work. I
Yes.
think it's got
Yes.
a bit of a Richard Wright
Right.
feel to it,
Yep.
and there's like a space rock. This is like one of the original real space rock albums.
Yep.
This album does kind of take you into orbit, but it's clearly Eloy. It's not Pink Floyd. It's to me, this is an Eloy album. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, there's no Mellotron on this album. He's not playing the Mellotron. But man, it's expansive, it's celestial, it's just great songs and just great playing, and it just, man, it just sticks with you. And
Yeah.
I think this is the one. So, and one of my favorite, certainly has to be one of my favorite Eloy albums because I think it's their best. What
Yeah.
say you?
No, I say the same thing. I mean, when I first heard Astral Entrance and Master of Sensation, I was hooked. I mean, I just like you said,
Yeah,
they're sort of doing that spreading out thing that Pink Floyd does so well, where like you said, Detlef's just holding those chords and just letting it sit for a while, and Frank's doing some really cool guitar work. And I was hooked. I was like, this sounds like Floyd, but I'm okay with it. I'm all in. Like I love it,
it does. Yeah,
you know?
you hear elements of Pink Floyd, but it doesn't. To me, it doesn't sound like Pink Floyd.
No,
You
no.
know, Luis Nasser and I, we were arguing about this the other day, where he was like, making it sound like they just blatantly ripping off
Blatantly,
Floyd.
yeah,
And,
right.
you could hear like the influence of Floyd. You could
Right.
hear like some elements of like "Wish You Were Here," which was what 1974, 75,
Yes, wish you were
and
here, right. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
preceded it by a few years, and but it's its own thing,
Yeah.
and it's one of the original space rock albums. And Frank's guitar work is great. The melodies on this album are just insane. And
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. And I win. And uh,
Yeah, you do win. You totally win.
and I have the CDs too. So
Yeah.
my collection. Yeah, it's just brilliant. And
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I don't
As
know
it
what else
goes
to say.
on, would you say, Ken, as this album goes on, it doesn't sound as Floydy as it goes on? Like it
Yeah,
starts that way, but it doesn't, but it's still great. I mean,
right, like
I think it's a great record. It's a
right,
great
like Pilot to Paradise. That sounds nothing like Pink Floyd.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
Yeah, and it's Masters and it's great. Now, one thing we didn't talk about, by the way, is Frank's vocals. So
oh
a lot
yeah,
of people, a lot of people are not fond of Frank's vocals. Frank has a heavy accent, sings in
yes,
English, doesn't have a bad voice per se. He has a bit of a fragile voice, but he sings in English with an accent. And his pronunciation on some words, not so great, but
yeah.
it's part of the charm. And
It's charming, right?
yeah,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
this was, if I'm not mistaken, this one was the biggest selling Eloy album, I believe, and perhaps somebody will correct me. I believe it sold over 100,000 copies in Germany,
yeah.
which
Okay, okay.
which is a lot of records
A lot of
for
albums.
Germany.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
in Germany, they were happening in Germany. I mean,
they were happening in Germany. They only played. I think they never played the U.S. They were supposed to play at Nearfest, but that got canceled. Frank
okay.
Frank had a bicycling accident. That
Oh
got canceled.
wow. All right.
He was supposed to play the final Nearfest. They were going to close out the final Nearfest,
Oh
and I'm pretty sure they played in the UK because some of their albums got released in the UK with different artwork. Metromania was released in the UK, and so I think they played one or two shows in the UK, and they played in Germany. I'm not sure they ever played anywhere else.
right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's part
but
of the reason maybe they had the limited, or
yeah,
just, they didn't.
yeah,
But but you're right. I mean, to me, when I listen to Eloy, I listened to a lot of Eloy this week getting ready for this, and I will say that Frank's voice is probably the biggest Achilles of this band. I mean, his
yeah,
voice, but it's like you said, it's got charm. It's got you can tell he means it. He's got that heavy German accent, and some of the things, and then he'll say like, what cracks me up sometimes is when he starts talking, like sometimes
yeah.
it's a talking thing, where he's like, and the gods made love or whatever he talks on occasion. You'll hear something like that.
Worlds are atomized. What?
Exactly. But it's
Yeah,
cool. But I like it. I'm not. I enjoy it. So I'm not.
and also a lot of these records is just really long instrumental parts. It's
Yeah.
like almost
Yeah.
like the vocal sections set up the instrumental,
Right.
and
Right.
so
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just like, all right, Frank's singing, and all right, it is what it is, and then man, now we're going next level, you know.
Yeah, but he leaves plenty of room for the music to breathe, and it does, and it
And the
does.
other thing is, all of these guys, these are killer musicians.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
Klaus Peter Mansell, great bass player. He was, you know, he was like a mainstay in the band, very important part of the band. He left at some point, but then, you know, he came back. And yeah, it's Jurgen Rosenthal. He's a monster. I mean, you know, he's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and this is, I mean, to me, Silent Cries and Mighty Echoes is also in my top. Of course, it's also in my top or my
Is that
favorite.
your number one? Is that
This
your
is
number
not
one?
my number one. This Ocean's my number one.
Okay. Well, that's
So
okay.
I this is the first one I heard that I really fell in love with. And this is isn't this the one it's here, it's there, it's out of sight or whatever he does.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah.
Uh Poseidon's Creation, I think it is, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
I just love that track, man. The opening track on this, their opening tracks on their classic records on Eloy are excellent, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Uh,
Ocean's a great album.
I love it.
It's a great record.
I
It
love it.
only, you know, for the studio, only surpassed by this.
Right, right.
So, are you ready for my wild card?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's bring it on.
So, so I had to pick three, right? So this was a cheat, but I don't give a shit because I'm 66, man. I could do whatever I want.
You could do whatever you want, Ken. I'm not worried about it.
Eloy Live,
Nice. Look at that.
double album, double live. There's Jurgen. And the
Yep.
reason I picked this is one of the greatest progressive rock live albums of all time. And this covers the material from Ocean, uh, Power and the Passion, and Dawn. And every version, every song, every version of those songs is better live.
Oh,
So
interesting.
that's the cheat.
Okay.
So like you have like the last track is 21 minutes, Atlantis' Agony at June 5th, 8498, 13 p.m. Gregorian Earth time. And it opens up with this really spacey, you know, Frank is talking. I have no idea what the hell he's saying. He's speaking in German
Right.
and to the
Right.
audience, and everybody's tripping balls. And I'm, you know, and I've rolled a fatty,
Most
and
likely, yeah.
I've
Yeah.
rolled a fatty, and I'm listening to this thing, and with the lights out, and man, I'm on another planet.
It's
It's just
feels
unbelievable.
great. Yeah.
I have to talk. Rosenthal's drumming on this record is just pure insanity. The guy's
Wow.
just he's just unreal. And just like I said, this has Poseidon's Creation, Incarnation of Logos from
Yeah.
Ocean. It's almost the
Right.
entire Ocean album, really.
Oh my God.
And every version is it's like Ocean is fantastic.
Right.
Have to own Ocean, but if you want to hear even better versions of that material, you hear it here.
That's
So
interesting. That's interesting.
so
Yeah.
that's you know, you got the Sun Song, which was from Dawn, the Dance and Doubt and Fear, which I think was Power and the Passion.
Yep.
Well, Mutiny is from Power and the Passion. Gliding into Light and Knowledge. Then Inside, they do a great version of Inside.
Cool.
You know, do you have this one?
No, it's
No,
funny that
no.
it's hilarious that you brought this up because I had it in my hands. I'm not joking you. Like a couple weeks ago, I had that in my hands at Detroit
Right.
Rhythm Club in Detroit, one of the better record stores around here, and they had it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, should I buy the live album or not? Now I got to go get it.
No, you have to get it.
Thanks,
No,
Ken. Now I got to go get
it's
it.
a must own. It's
Yeah,
really all the 70s, any 70s Eloy album is a must own.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and we could really go a little further. I would say early 80s,
I was
you
gonna
know.
say this is in there. Like this almost
Yes,
made it for me. I love
yes.
playing
You could almost make, well, time to I like, you know, those those two parts. There's Planets and the sequel was Time to
Time
Turn.
to Turn. Right.
Somebody
Right.
said that they originally Eloy wanted to release it as a double and the label didn't want it. But anyway, I think Time to Turn is could be, if you wanted it to be, the cutoff.
Yeah.
There is some good music
Yeah.
past that. There
Right.
is.
Right.
But but like I listened to Time to Turn today, hadn't listened to it in a while. I'm like, damn, this is a good album.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Colors didn't hold up for me as much as it as I remembered it, but it was still a good album. And Colors was a bit of a changeover from Silent Cries. Kind
right,
of
right.
it kind of got a little more symphonic, a little less spacey, but but for Planets and Time to Turn, kind of went back to the Silent Cries sound.
Yeah, exactly. Colors feels like a bit of a weird transition record, and then but then for some reason this one hits me. I don't know why. It's almost
It's a
like
good record.
it's a good
Very
record.
good.
It's like a little bit different. It's like you said, it's not like we're not doing ham and organ anymore. It's more the synth stuff. But
Yes.
but
Yeah.
they do it well. They do it well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He at that point he had gone through uh another lineup change. He had the two Hanses, Hans Arcona, who's the keyboard player, and Hans Falberth, also who's also he was also the keyboard player. I think there are two keyboard players, and then
Okay.
Klaus Peter Matzohl, and then I think he brought back Fritz Randau from the early days. I think Fritz came back at some point, and
Right.
he was constantly juggling.
Constantly
To this
churning.
day, to this day, is juggling musicians. So.
So would you say though that Detlef Smidgen was like like he was all the albums that he's on are like classic records.
Yeah, he was
You know what I
like,
mean?
yeah, he was kind of like the linchpin to that sound, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I don't know.
they're a great band. I love this
Yeah.
band. They're a
Yeah.
good band.
Yeah,
So
man. It's cool. I mean, it's been educational for me too. I've dug further into Eloy, which has been like a real pleasure for me. It's been great. I've been loving it.
now I won't listen to them for a while because
I got to say, I'm a little burnt out because I listened to them all week. I didn't stop. I was
yeah.
like all week long, but
I kind of I really I kind of knew what my three were, and I was going to say Ocean, but like I said, every version is better here. So even
yeah,
though, a live album, I don't care. I love live albums.
right.
So, and this is one of the great prog rock live albums.
Yeah.
So, you know what the greatest, you know what the greatest live album is of all time? I've, I don't know if you know, but I've said it countless times.
Have you said it?
Eventually, somebody will believe me. Eventually,
All right. Well, hold on. Yes songs? No.
no,
Uh, uh, Welcome back, my friends. Show never ends. No.
not a bad one, but no.
No, I don't know. What is it?
Grobschnitt, Solar Music Live, the greatest
Oh, okay.
the greatest live album of all time.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
not even just the greatest prog rock live album, the greatest live album.
The greatest live album. Wow. All right.
Even better than Frampton Comes Alive.
Repton comes alive.
Even better than that.
That's saying something.
Probably
There you
just as
go.
many overdubs, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think we've talked through it. I would say we hit it pretty hard, and I don't
I
know.
think
Is there
we beat Eloy to a pulp.
any closing comments from you?
Um, no, it was fun to I have so much that I have to listen to, and I like going back and listening to the old stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I've got so much of it, and I have a big record collection, so it's kind of cool to sometimes you walk past this stuff and you think about it. You think about it nostalgically, but
Right.
sometimes you don't take the time to listen to it because you've
Hmm.
heard it so much, and there's always something new to listen to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's fun to take the time to listen to this stuff.
Yeah. Go back on occasion.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
well, Ken, thank you so much, man. It's been great.
That was
Thank you
a
for
pleasure.
coming on. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. No, it
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
That's
Really
good.
fun. Really fun. We'll do it again sometime. Um,
I will do
but
it again.
yeah, but thanks everybody. Thanks for you been with us this long. We appreciate it. Hope you crank up some Eloy today. In
Yes.
let us know in the comments what's your favorites. Maybe somebody will say, "Hey man, I don't know what you guys are talking about."
Yeah.
I think that debut was friggin' amazing. Um, who knows? You never know what you're going to get. So, but let us know and always hit the like and subscribe buttons. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you next time on Curlessmania. Take care.
Thanks.